Hello everyone. Senegal is a country located in West Africa, geographically distant from us. Most of us know this country through football, as it is the homeland of world-famous football stars, like forward Sadio Mane and defender Kalidou Koulibaly. Before them, there was the dynamic duo Diao who dominated the pitch. Not only known for its passion for football, this land is also a stunningly beautiful country. Tourists can leisurely stroll alongside the mighty lions. Beyond what has been mentioned, what other fascinating things does Senegal hold, waiting for us to discover? Today, let's take just 5 minutes to explore this fascinating country together. Senegal, the land of rivers. Senegal is a country in West Africa, with a population of approximately 18.16 million people, with an area of up to 196,722 square kilometers. Thus, the population density is 92 people per square kilometer. This country borders Mauritania to the north and Mali to the east. Guinea is located to the southeast, while Guinea-Bissau is to the southwest. At the same time, it also surrounds Gambia on 3 sides. Senegal has a total land border length of 2,640 kilometers. The name of this country originates from the Senegal River. This river is 1,086 kilometers long and is a vital freshwater source for the West African region. This river has 2 main branches, both originating from the highlands of neighboring Guinea. First, there's the Bakoji River, stretching 400 kilometers in length. And second is the Bafin River, which stretches up to 560 kilometers in length. They met in the town of Bafulabi in Mali. After that, the flow continues westward, and forms the natural border between the 2 countries of Mauritania and Senegal. Finally, the river flows into the Atlantic Ocean. Here are the translations, depending on the desired emphasis. The southern branch is Douai with a total length of 143 kilometers. These 2 sections then merge together, while the area in between is Makfi Island. This is the largest island in Senegal, covering an area of up to 1,250 square kilometers. Navoy, but due to excessive hunting, by the 1960s, they vanished from Makfi. Alongside the main branch, which almost perfectly aligns with the 742 kilometers long borderline between Mauritania and Senegal, the Failmi tributary also plays an equally important role. This river originates from the Guinea highlands and flows northward, then forming the majority of the long border between Senegal and Mali. After traveling a long distance of 430 kilometers from the starting point. To the north, it borders Mauritania, to the east it borders Mali, and to the west it borders Senegal. The Senegal River system is considered the most vital water source for the West African region, when its catchment area reaches 337,000 square kilometers. At the same time, this region spans across the territories of 4 countries: Guinea, Mali, Mauritania, and Senegal. All 4 parties work together to manage the river. However, it is rarely used for transporting goods or passengers, except for the downstream area. Previously, there was a proposal to develop a transportation system connecting the small town of Ambi-Debi in Mali. At the Senegal River estuary, the riverbed has been widened to 55 meters. This waterway has a total length of 905 kilometers and will directly connect to Mali, a landlocked country, bordered by the vast Atlantic Ocean. However, this idea has yet to become a reality. The Senegal River system currently also doesn't have many hydroelectric plants. That's because its average flow rate reaches 680 cubic meters per second. And the total annual water flow reaches 21.5 billion cubic meters. These figures are not particularly outstanding. Moreover, the countries in this region have not yet achieved strong development. The implementation of large-scale projects often faces many challenges. Currently, among the 4 hydropower plants located in the Senegal River Basin, there are up to 3 structures in Mali. Here are the translations for both versions. The Fellow hydropower plant is located along the Senegal River. The remaining structure is the Daima Dam, located right on the border between Mauritania and Senegal. The 2 countries collaborated to construct this project from 1981 and completed it in 1986. With a total cost of up to $149.5 million, The project is funded by concessional loans from the African Development Bank. Once completed, the Daima Dam will have a maximum discharge capacity of up to 6,500 cubic meters per second. Standing 18 meters tall with a total length of 610 meters, this structure consists of a 170-meter main section and a 440-meter auxiliary extension. Additionally, the area features a 175-meter long and 13-meter wide dock, providing convenient access for boats and ships. Before the Daima Dam was built, saltwater intruded up to 250 kilometers inland. This makes the land along both banks of the Senegal River less fertile, unsuitable for agricultural cultivation. Therefore, once the project is completed, the primary goal is to prevent saltwater intrusion and provide irrigation water for approximately 45,000 hectares of farmland. Additionally, there is a bridge and a connecting route between Senegal and Mauritania. From then on, the trade capacity between the two neighboring countries improved. Alongside the river named after the country, Senegal also boasts many other rivers, the most notable of which is the Gambia River. This river is 1,120 kilometers long and originates from the Guinea Highlands. Afterward, the flow continues northward, crosses the Senegal border, then turns westward, passing through Gambia before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. Unlike the Senegal River, which is not suitable for boat traffic, the Gambia River has a western section that is favorable for trade. Therefore, the British took control of the surrounding area and established the country of Gambia as it is today. Additionally, the Casamance River is 320 kilometers long, flowing from east to west and emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. It plays a vital role for the Konda, Sédhiou, and Ziguinchor regions by providing a water source and serving as a waterway to the sea. Another river that flows entirely within Senegal's territory is the Saloum River. With a length of approximately 135 kilometers, this river flows in an east-west direction and provides irrigation water for areas in central Senegal. Coffee, cocoa, soft drinks. The land of majestic natural wonders. The rivers in Senegal primarily flow east or southeast toward the west before emptying into the ocean. The reason is that the country's terrain is mostly flat, with the majority of its area lying less than 50 meters above sea level. Only the southeastern region bordering neighboring Guinea has low mountainous terrain, which is also the highest point in Senegal, located right on the border. That is Mount Bonnet, with a peak elevation of 648 meters above sea level. The southeast region is also home to Nicolocoba National Park, established in 1954. And then, this area was expanded to 9,130 square kilometers in 1969. By 1981, it was officially recognized by UNESCO as a World Natural Heritage Site. Currently, Nicolocoba is home to 1,500 plant species and covers up to 78% of Senegal's protected forest area. Here is home to 20 species of amphibians, 60 species of fish, 38 species of reptiles, and 80 species of mammals, the most prominent of which is the mighty lion pride. Despite facing numerous threats from human activities, this area remains safely protected thanks to government efforts. Overall, Senegal's terrain is quite flat, but there are still distinct differences between regions. The northern region has a hot desert climate due to its proximity to the Sahara Desert, with temperatures reaching up to 54 degrees Celsius in the Mali border area. It doesn't rain much here, mostly just concentrated around August to September. However, the annual rainfall varies greatly, with some years even experiencing no rainy season at all. This area features a Sahelian steppe landscape, characterized by acacia trees, the most common plant species here. Central Vietnam has a hot semi-arid climate, with a rainy season lasting from June to October and a dry season from November to May the following year. This area has a more humid climate compared to the northern region, but it is also more susceptible to impacts due to fluctuating rainfall amounts and frequent variations in rainy periods between years. The riverbank terrain mainly consists of grasslands over 1 meter tall, interspersed with herbaceous plants and shrubs. The southern region has a tropical monsoon climate with two distinct seasons, the dry season influenced by the northeast monsoon and the rainy season brought by the southwest monsoon. From June to October, rainfall occurs frequently, with the total annual precipitation in the southern border region reaching up to 1,800 millimeters. Notably, the rainfall in August reached up to 600 millimeters, accounting for about one-third of the annual total. From November to May, the weather becomes dry, especially in areas with a mix of grasslands, steppes, and dense forests. Besides the three main types of terrain, Senegal also has swampy areas covered with mangrove forests at river mouths. A prime example is the DOZ National Bird Reserve. Established in 1971 and expanded in 1975, this reserve now covers a total area of up to 16,000 hectares. Birds such as pelicans and flamingos, when migrating from northwest Africa across the Sahara Desert, mostly stop here to rest. This reserve is home to 400 bird species with approximately 1.5 million individuals. Thanks to this exceptional value, it was recognized by UNESCO as a World Natural Heritage Site in 1981. Senegal also has another wetland area, the Saloum Delta, spanning 180,000 hectares. This region is home to around 200 islands of varying sizes and serves as a crucial stopover for many migratory bird species. Beyond its natural beauty, this place is also a significant archaeological site with 218 shell mounds, evidence of large-scale accumulation of mollusk shells from human activity over thousands of years. Therefore, in 2011, Saloum was officially recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site. Senegal and Africa's supercity. Since the western region bordering the Atlantic Ocean has a milder climate, about 70% of Senegal's population is concentrated in the coastal area, while the remaining 30% is mainly distributed along the rivers. The Senegal River estuary is located near the city of St. Louis, an urban area spanning 63.54 square kilometers. With a population of 254,000, 2023, it is the seventh most populous city in Senegal. This area has developed key industries such as tourism, commerce, sugar production, and seafood fishing. Here, visitors are drawn to St. Louis Island, which was honored by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site in 2000. Long ago, this place was once the capital of Senegal during the time when the country was a French colony. However, after hundreds of years, this title has gone to Dhaka, now the largest city in Senegal with an area of 79.83 square kilometers and a population of approximately 1,278,000 people. Considering the entire Dhaka region spanning 547 square kilometers, this megacity is home to 4 million people, accounting for 22% of the country's population. Notably, Dakar is the westernmost point on mainland Africa. This means the capital of Senegal becomes the last place on the continent to witness sunrise and bid farewell to sunset. But behind that idyllic beauty lies a horrifying past, particularly on the small island of Gore, now part of the capital Dhaka. Thanks to its favorable location for ships to enter and depart, Europeans have settled here since 1444. Over the next few centuries, the island was successively occupied by the Portuguese, Dutch, British, and French. Foreign powers turned it into the largest slave trading hub in the region, where millions of Africans were captured, enslaved, and transported to the Americas. Thus, Gore is also known as the door with no return. An estimated 500,000 Senegalese were captured as slaves, and many of them were brought to this island. With such a remarkable historical depth, this island was honored by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site in 1978. Returning to the present, Senegal's capital today is renowned as a major transportation hub in the region, as well as the westernmost point of Africa. The autonomous port of Dhaka is one of the rare natural deep water ports in the West African region. With an annual cargo handling capacity of around 10 million tons, it is the busiest seaport on the African continent. The inland city of Dhaka is connected to the rest of Africa via the highway system. First is the Daikakero Expressway, with a total length of 8,636 kilometers, starting from Akab, running along the Mediterranean coast to West Africa, and ending in Senegal's capital. The Dhaka-N'Djamena Highway spans 4,496 kilometers, starting from the Republic of Chad in the east, crossing through the southern region of the Sahara Desert, and ending at the westernmost point of Africa's capital to Senegal. Thanks to its unique location, this city was once a key stop in the Dakar Rally, an annual event held since 1978. The race departs from Europe, after which the drivers and their cars are transported to the North African coast. From here, they must conquer the harsh Sahara Desert before reaching the finish line in Senegal's capital. However, since 2008, due to instability in the neighboring country of Mauritania, the Dakar Rally was forced to relocate to the Americas and later to the Middle East. Additionally, escalating violence in Mali has forced the Dakar-Nice railway line to shut down since 2010. This river stretches 1,287 kilometers and plays a vital role in connecting the landlocked nation of Mali to the vast maritime region of the Atlantic Ocean. It is evident that Dakar in particular and Senegal as a whole possess an exceptionally developed international transportation system. In the country, except for the eastern region, where the population is sparse, most roads are paved. Notably, this country has a national highway system numbered from 1 to 7, including 2 routes, N4 and N5, that pass through the territory of neighboring Gambia. Regarding the railway system, in addition to the 905 km Dakar-Nice line that runs within Senegal's territory, the country is also constructing a new railway line. This is the route connecting the capital with Diamniadio City and Bella Diakni International Airport. Specifically, the total project cost is $2 billion, with construction starting in 2016 and a railway length of 55 kilometers. Phase 1 has been completed after 5 years of construction, spanning 36 kilometers and costing up to $1.3 billion. Phase 2 is currently under construction with 19 kilometers of railway and a total investment cost of up to $700 million. Previously, the Senegalese government built a highway with a nearly identical route. Here are the 2 translation options, choose one based on context. On the other hand, Léopold Sédar Senghor Airport, located in the heart of the city, is severely overloaded as it can only handle 1.7 million passengers per year, a figure far below the actual travel demand of the population. Therefore, a new international airport named Blair Diakni was built approximately 45 kilometers from the old location, with a capacity to serve up to 3 million passengers per year. After multiple delays, the project was finally inaugurated in 2017 with a total cost of up to $626 million. This project alleviated the congestion at the old airport, handling over 2.63 million passengers in 2022 alone. Shortly after, the small town of Diamniadio was also heavily invested in to alleviate population pressure on the capital, Dakar. The Senegalese government plans to invest approximately $2 billion to develop the current town of 48,000 residents into an urban area with a population of 350,000 by 2035. This complex includes multiple components such as a university, industrial zones, residential areas, and a stadium. The Olympic Stadium, covering 88,000 square meters with a capacity of 50,000 spectators, will be the main venue for the 2026 Summer Youth Olympics. This will also be the first Olympic event held in Africa's population overload. However, the project has also faced mixed opinions due to Senegal's gross domestic product, GDP, reached $30.94 billion, ranking 18th in Africa. However, its GDP per capita was only $1,704, below the continent. Currently, Senegal continues to face significant challenges, including rampant corruption, an inefficient judicial system, cumbersome administrative procedures, and an education system in crisis. The country's literacy rate stands at only 51.9%, meaning 48.1% of the population is illiterate. Notably, the gender gap in this issue is stark. The illiteracy rate among women reaches 60.2%, while for men, it is just 35.2%. This situation creates an imbalance in the economy, as agriculture accounts for only 16.9% of GDP but employs up to 77.5% of the workforce. Notably, peanuts are the primary crop, providing jobs for half of the rural population. Currently, Senegal is the 3rd largest peanut producer in Africa, with 90% of its output exported to China. Rice production. Senegal's staple food, currently meets only 25% of domestic demand. As a result, in 2023, the country had to import up to 1.3 million tons of rice, totaling $500 million in value. Additionally, the fisheries sector plays a significant role by contributing 3.2% to GDP, accounting for 10.2% of total export revenue, and generating over 600,000 jobs for the economy. However, this activity is being severely impacted by illegal fishing from foreign vessels, particularly those from China and Russia. As a result, Senegal's waters lose approximately 300,000 tons of fish annually, causing significant harm to local fishermen. Although the majority of Senegal's population works in agriculture, the country faces significant land constraints. Only 17.4% of the land area is suitable for growing annual crops, 0.3% is suitable for perennial crops, and 29.1% consists of pastures for livestock, primarily cattle, sheep, and goats. The remaining 43.8% of the area is forest, while 9.4% is unsuitable for planting trees. Moreover, despite having several major rivers, Senegal's water resources are not particularly abundant, with a total renewable water volume of only 38.8 billion cubic meters. Additionally, due to outdated technology, only about 5% of cultivated land is adequately irrigated, while the rest relies entirely on rainfall. Even in recent years, this West African nation has faced numerous challenges due to climate change, with temperatures projected to rise by 1.5 to 4 degrees Celsius by 2050. This has led to declining rainfall and increased risks of land degradation, particularly in the northern region, which frequently endures severe sandstorms from the desert. On the other hand, erratic rainfall also makes this region prone to flooding. A prime example is the October 2024 flood, which disrupted the lives of 55,600 people living along both banks of the Senegal River, while also destroying 16,000 hectares of crops, severely threatening national food security. In response, the government has implemented flood prevention measures for the future, including building resilient infrastructure, upgrading roads, and repairing bridges and related structures. In the long term, Senegal is the leading country in implementing the Great Green Wall project. This is a massive reforestation initiative aimed at combating desertification in African nations located in the sub-Saharan region. In the industrial and service sectors, these two industries account for 22.5% of the total workforce, while contributing 24.3% and 58.8% to GDP, respectively. In the industrial sectors, mining is the most crucial activity due to the country's abundant natural resources, including iron, chromite, gold, phosphate, natural gas, and recently discovered oil reserves. As key industries, as it is one of Africa, this country is renowned for its 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 6 of which are entirely within its national territory, while the stone circles of Senegambia are located in the border area between two countries. As even more remarkable is the lake. But the most memorable experience was walking alongside lions at the Fatala Nature Reserve. This is where visitors have the chance to get up close with the animals known as the kings of the African savanna. Overall, Senegal's economy still faces many limitations due to its predominantly low-skilled workforce and heavy reliance on agriculture, which has led the country into a trade deficit. In 2023, Senegal's total export value reached $5.3 billion United States dollars, while its import value was $11.87 billion United States dollars, resulting in a trade deficit of $6.57 billion United States dollars. The main export commodities include crude oil, gold, titanium, phosphoric acid, and phosphate ore. The country's main import markets include Mali, India, Switzerland, and Australia, with key products being refined oil, transportation vehicles, machinery, base metals, and rice. The main countries supplying goods are France, China, Russia, India, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Although an underdeveloped country with a persistent trade deficit, Senegal's external debt has reached 56.1% of its GDP. Therefore, remittances are an extremely important source, accounting for approximately 9.5% of GDP, equivalent to $2.94 billion in 2023. Among the over 700,000 overseas Vietnamese football players are the most prominent figures, with striker Sadio Mane being a prime example. After achieving success, he returned to his homeland to build schools and hospitals. He forget to reinvest in their parents. This artist once dreamed of building a modern metropolis inspired by the Kingdom of Wakanda from the movie Black Panther, but to this day, the project has yet to become a reality. Above are some fascinating facts about Senegal, the land of majestic lions. If you'd like us to explore any other topics, feel free to leave a comment below. Hello everyone, see you in the upcoming videos.